He mocked him with a banana at a fine restaurant, not knowing who he just insulted. The reservation had been made weeks in advance. No special request, no VIP warning. Just a man in a clean black suit walking into one of Chicago's most exclusive restaurants, Savarin, a French fusion spot with 2 James Beard Awards and a waitlist of nearly 3 months. Behind the kitchen doors, Chef Landon Pierce was in full control. Known for his eccentric personality and aggressive kitchen energy, he ruled the dining room like a stage. But when he walked in, Marcus Bell, a soft-spoken black man in his mid-30s, something shifted. Landon took one look and made a quiet joke to his sous chef. Must be lost, or delivering something. The kitchen laughed. Marcus sat at table 4 alone, ordered politely, waited. Then came the moment. Instead of the amuse-bouche served to all other diners, a delicate truffle foam on rye crisps, Marcus was brought a single peeled banana on a silver plate, placed in front of him with a smirk. "Something familiar for the gentleman," the waiter said, barely hiding the sneer. The surrounding tables froze. Marcus didn't flinch. He picked up the banana, nodded, and took a bite. Then he calmly pulled a small notebook from his coat pocket and began to write. From the kitchen, Landon watched with amusement, arms crossed. "He's writing a Yelp review," he muttered, loud enough for the staff to hear. More chuckles. Marcus didn't look up. He wasn't angry, just focused. He examined every plate that passed his table, jotted notes, occasionally sniffed the air like he was logging aromas. The staff started whispering. "Who brings a notebook to dinner? Is he a critic?" Landon brushed it off. "Please, if he were anybody, we'd know." Still, the energy shifted. Marcus asked for the tasting menu. The real one, 10 courses. Landon smirked and said, "Let's give him the deluxe experience." And they did, with twisted flair. Over-salted caviar, undercooked duck. Dessert served while the main course was still half-eaten. Marcus took it all in. Expression calm, pen steady. But behind that calm, something simmered. Because every dish wasn't just bad, it was intentional sabotage, hidden under smiles. Even the wine pairing was off. The sommelier brought a cheap bottle, claiming it was a modern choice. And still, Marcus said nothing, just tasted, wrote, observed, until finally, after the last course, he folded his notebook shut and placed a single business card on the table, face down. Landon didn't see it. Yet, as Marcus stood to leave, the maitre d' rushed over, forced politeness all over his face. "Was everything to your satisfaction, sir?" Marcus smiled faintly. "It was," revealing. Then he walked out, calm and quiet, disappearing into the night. Minutes later, a server picked up the business card and brought it to the kitchen. "Chef, you might want to see this." Landon, still riding high on his own ego, snatched it, expecting maybe a blogger handle or a complaint hotline. What he read instead drained the color from his face. Marcus Bell, Michelin North America, lead inspector. The room went dead silent. No way. That guy? He didn't even... He ate the banana," Landon stammered. His sous chef looked horrified. "You served a banana to a Michelin inspector." Suddenly, every smug joke, every half-cooked dish, every racist slight came crashing down in Landon's mind. The staff started whispering. Phones came out. Rumors flew. The maitre d' sat down, clutching his head. In the dining room, a couple asked for their check early. The word was already spreading. And just then, Landon's phone buzzed. A single text from the restaurant's PR rep. "Did you serve someone named Marcus Bell tonight? Michelin is trending, and it's not good." Landon felt the floor shift beneath him, but the worst hadn't hit yet, not even close. By morning, it was everywhere. Food blogs, Twitter, TikTok. The hashtag banana service was trending nationally. Screenshots of the business card. A grainy video someone had taken of the waiter placing the banana down. And worse, A thread allegedly written by another former employee, exposing Landon's long history of weeding out black applicants in interviews, mocking accents in the kitchen, and bragging that he could smell a fake foodie from a mile away. The internet didn't wait for an apology. It pounced. This is how Michelin inspectors are treated. Imagine what regular black diners go through. Food critics started commenting. Old patrons began canceling future reservations. Influencers posted fake bananas in front of their meals at other restaurants in solidarity. It was wildfire. And still, silence from Landon. He refused to post, refused to apologize. He barked at staff to delete tweets, threatened lawsuits, and claimed it was all a hoax. "It's reverse racism," he shouted in the kitchen. "They're trying to ruin me because I wouldn't kneel." His arrogance was unshaken, but then the Michelin office called. It wasn't a warning, it was a formal notice. The inspector's report had been filed, and Savarin was about to be reviewed publicly. Landon slammed the office door behind him, pacing like a caged animal. The Michelin notice was clear. Their inspector had been subjected to racially inappropriate service and culinary sabotage, a direct violation of their ethical dining standards. The restaurant's pending star renewal was now under emergency review. Landon thought he could spin it. He called his lawyer, then a publicist. "We'll say it was performance art, avant-garde commentary," he insisted. But nobody was buying it. Even his lawyer hesitated. "Did you really serve him a banana?" Landon exploded. It was a joke, but that was the problem. He thought it was funny. He thought he still controlled the narrative. But now, Savarin's open table was flooded with one-star reviews, diners uploading bananas with captions like, "Got the special treatment." Local news outlets picked up the story. Protesters began organizing outside the restaurant. And inside, staff were jumping ship. The sommelier quit mid-shift. The pastry chef walked out. One busboy posted a TikTok saying, "We warned y'all about Chef Landon. Now he's getting what he served." And still, Landon clung to his ego, convinced it would blow over. But the final blow was coming. And it wouldn't be from Twitter. It would be from Marcus himself. 2 days later, Marcus broke his silence. No press conference, no hashtags, just a single, quiet video on his personal account. No music, no edits. Just him, seated at a table, holding the same silver business card that had flipped the city upside down. "I've inspected over 200 restaurants across North America," he said. "But this was the first time I was served a banana on fine china as a message." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't call names. He simply recounted the night, step by step, the smirks, the ruined dishes, the waiter's words, something familiar for the gentleman. "The assumption wasn't just that I didn't belong," he said. "It was that I wouldn't matter." The video went viral within hours. Chefs from all backgrounds reposted it with messages of solidarity. "This industry has had a rot in it for too long," one black executive chef said in her own reply. Marcus just peeled back the cover. Meanwhile, Landon was spiraling. He sent an open letter to a food magazine claiming the incident was misunderstood satire. They refused to publish it. His restaurant's reservation system was shut down for security threats. And still, Marcus's video climbed. Because now it wasn't just about food. It was about every door black professionals were told they didn't belong behind. And the world was listening. Within 72 hours, Landon Pierce went from elite chef to industry pariah. It started quietly, one cancellation here, a revoked invitation there. But then came the avalanche. The Food Network removed episodes of a guest series he'd filmed just last month. A major culinary conference dropped him from their lineup with a single line: "We do not condone racism masquerading as creativity." Sponsors pulled out. A cookware brand issued a public apology for ever endorsing him. Even old colleagues, people who'd once toasted champagne with him over 5-star reviews, began unfollowing, deleting photos, distancing fast. And still, Landon clung to one final hope. Michelin hadn't spoken publicly. They're professionals. he told his last remaining sous chef. They'll judge the food, not the noise. But the Michelin Guide didn't stay quiet for long. On a Monday morning, they released an unprecedented public statement. Savarin will be stripped of all Michelin distinctions, effective immediately. No star, no mention in the guide, nothing. The same restaurant that once brought in celebrities and critics, now blacklisted. Landon stared at the announcement, blinking. They erased me, he muttered. But it wasn't erasure, it was accountability. For years, he'd mocked, excluded, and gatekept, thinking his talent made him untouchable. Now, he wasn't even relevant. The sign outside Savarin came down quietly. No press, no farewell post, just a cold Monday morning, 2 workers in hoodies, and a crowbar scraping metal. Landon watched from across the street, hood pulled up, unshaven, clutching a coffee he barely sipped. The restaurant was officially closed. Temporarily, the website claimed. But inside, chairs were stacked, inventory was boxed, and silence hung where music and clinking glasses once filled the air. Landon tried calling his business partner. No answer. He called again, then got a single text. We're out. Sell the space. His investors were gone. His backers? Vanished. Not because of one bad joke, but because they finally believed what people had whispered for years, that Landon Pierce wasn't a genius. He was a bully with a good PR team. Former apprentices began speaking up. Stories of humiliation, discrimination, forced silence. One wrote, "He said my Caribbean accent made the food sound cheap." Another, "He threw my resume in the trash because my name sounded like a rapper." For every story Marcus had sparked, there were dozens more. Landon tried to go live on Instagram. He ranted about cancel culture, about how jokes weren't illegal, about how they turned one banana into a firing squad. But the comments lit him up. No sympathy, no support, just banana emojis. And a single message pinned by a viewer. You served a fruit to mock a man. Now the world's watching you rot. 3 weeks later, a quiet announcement slipped into the Chicago Tribune's food section. No fanfare, just a headline. Former Michelin inspector opens culinary equity initiative in Chicago. It was Marcus. He wasn't just walking away from the story. He was building something bigger. The initiative's goal? To fund and mentor aspiring Black chefs, sommeliers, and restaurant managers, giving them the tools and network that had been denied to so many for so long. He called it the table. Because if they won't make room, he said in the press release, we'll build our own. Within days, donations poured in. Established chefs offered to partner. A celebrity restaurateur posted, "This is how we change the industry, not just by calling out injustice, but by replacing it." Marcus didn't speak Landon's name once. He didn't need to. The contrast was clear. One man had power and used it to mock. The other had been humiliated and turned it into a movement. Meanwhile, Landon tried to pitch a comeback on a streaming platform, a redemption arc cooking series. No one picked it up. His emails were leaked, bitter, desperate, filled with blame. He'd become what he feared most, irrelevant, the face of what happens when ego meets karma. And Marcus? He was already setting the table for someone else to rise. 6 months later, in a sunlit dining room on Chicago's South Side, a different kind of restaurant opened its doors. No white tablecloths, no celebrity PR, just soulful dishes crafted with precision and a team of chefs whose names had never been printed in glossy magazines until now. At the soft opening of the table, Marcus sat quietly at the back, dressed the same way he had the night Landon mocked him. Black suit, calm expression, notebook in hand. Only this time, he wasn't there to critique. He was there to witness. A young chef brought out the final course, a dish inspired by her grandmother's sweet plantains. She placed it gently in front of Marcus and said, "I made this, for the ones who were never served." He nodded, took a bite, and smiled. No notes, no stars needed. just respect. Outside, a crowd waited. Not to protest, to support. Food critics who once ignored voices like hers now begged for reservations. Because what Marcus had built wasn't just a restaurant. It was a reckoning, a reminder that when you mock someone for their skin, their presence, or their silence, you never know who you're actually talking to. And by the time you find out, it might be too late to fix the damage. If that ending gave you chills, hit subscribe, because stories like this don't just entertain, they expose truth.